I'm a little delayed, as you guys can tell. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. I'm super excited. Always spend time with my dear friend, the one and only Walt Key. He's a coaching guru, a real estate guru, an all around amazing Hawaiian vibing guy. And we do a weekly ish, where we talk about real estate and all the cool things that are going on. And Walt gets to nerd out, as he says. But this is all great information for you. 2026 is shaping up to be completely different than 2025. At least that's my optimistic self coming out there. And then Walt always provides us with some amazing tools and discussions. Welcome back, Walt. How you doing?
I'm doing great. My pleasure. I'm really a Hawaiian shirt guru. I'm just kind of a okay coach and a okay real estate.
You're amazing.
I'm a Hawaiian shirt guru for sure.
So tell them about you real quick for those people tuning in.
Goodness. Real estate agent, licensed in a couple states. I do a lot of production. I enjoy what I do. Got into coaching because I realized most agents don't do very well. That led me down that path. I love helping agents succeed. So I've been coaching for years now. A couple years ago, I guess it's been about maybe 3 years ago now, wrote a book to help new agents learn how to build an actual real estate business. Eventually, I'll get off my butt and write the second book, which is in draft mode. We'll get that published. But I'm also I hold a bunch of committee, positions in my brokerage and in our local realtors association. So I'm trying to be involved in helping people any way I can, and it's a lot of fun.
You do an amazing job at it. You are one of the most generous human beings I know, especially when it comes to sharing your knowledge and your information and your ideas and what's worked for you and what hasn't. And what I love about you, which is what I tell everyone, is that you have already practiced what you preach. So you're not just one of those coaches, let's say, who says, oh, look at all these things ChatGPT told me you should do, and you've never done them. So you all need to check out Walt. His Linktree is scrolling across the bottom. You can just go to Google Walt Key. You can Google Walt Key in Florida, Hawaiian vibin', but you can go to his Linktree and find out all the things about Walt. All right, so what do we have going on? What's the update?
Man, so we got some market data we can talk about, but I'd like to start. So I just literally 10 minutes before this call started, I got back from the Northeast Florida Realtor Association Education Task Force meeting. So I'm the vice chair for the Education Task Force. For those who don't know, the Northeast Florida Realtors Association is the largest realtor association in our region, but it's actually the fourth largest in the state of Florida. So we have about 12,000 agent members across that. And so the Education Task Force's goal is to design and implement training and courses, both CE and non-CE courses, that help the agents learn how to do their job better, to grow more business, to develop their client relationships, all the fun stuff that agents need. That Education Task Force is designed to say, what's the demand? How do we meet that demand? How do we market the things we're doing to meet the demand? So it was a lot of fun. And then some of our staff goes to the Florida Realtors Education Committee and gets input from the whole state on what agents are generally saying. This is kind of what we feel like we need. This is what we feel like we're missing. Can you do that? So it was a super fun meeting today. And of course, the side benefit of that is they always cater way too much food. And so there's extra drinks and there's extra coffee and there's egg sandwiches and there's parfaits and the whole shebang. So I always leave full. I don't have to eat lunch when I go. That's always fun. But I was really encouraged, actually. When I was going to chair the meeting, one of the things I plan to talk about in the open discussion portion of the meeting, right, because we have kind of an agenda that we follow, was getting more business building focused training in front of the agents, not necessarily CI certified or CE certified courses, not things that you'd necessarily get any sort of particular credit for, but just real world practical business teaching that most agents are missing, at least in my mind. Like, I think most agents are missing that. And so as we started the meeting, the gal who was at the Florida Realtors Education Committee, we kind of opened it up with her, and I said, just walk us kind of through how that meeting went. What were the notes? What'd you take away from that? And it was really encouraging to hear that a lot of the agents said we kind of want more non-CE real world practical training. Like, yeah, it's great that we can get our CE credits, but we can kind of get that anywhere. Like, there's a lot of ways to get my CE credits. I don't necessarily need the CE credit. What I need is learn how to make some money.
Right.
Right. And you know this as well as I do, Ted. I think a lot of agents know this. There's a huge failure rate in the real estate industry. And a big part of that is we're not teaching agents how to run successful businesses.
Right.
Your CE credits don't matter if you don't renew your license. Right. The contract training doesn't matter if you never write a contract.
No, it does not.
The systems and tools training aren't really useful if you're never using the systems and tools because you don't have any clients.
So true.
So it was a good conversation around how can we start bringing in some non-CE accredited courses that, listen, just if you're an agent and you're great at what you do and you close a lot of deals, bring that to the table and teach it to your fellow agents. Let's all win together. And let's just start sharing our secrets, so to speak, on how we do business well, so other agents can pick up something and run with it. So that was super encouraging. I was really excited to hear that. And then the other things they were interested in, which of course is right up our alley. You and I love tech and AI. There was a lot of conversation about practical applications for using more technology, more AI into our real estate business. What does that really look like? Like, other than just I can Google something on ChatGPT, like, what is this AI thing and how do I really use it? And for those who don't know, like, AI is so much more than just ChatGPT. So that was really encouraging to hear that the demand signal for that tech training is there. So I'm super excited about what we start laying out as we move through the year and put some, not necessarily doing away with anything we already have. Right. You know, the CE courses are still valid. The contract training is still valid. That stuff has a purpose, but just layering in some real business building training so agents can go close more deals and make more money. And
we have one of those this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you guys have not seen it yet, you need to go scroll Ted's profile and jump in on the Maximize Your GCI course. It's absolutely free. You're not going to get CE credit for it, but you will absolutely learn how to make more money. Like, you need to be in there. You need to be in that.
You're going to get TE, TED Education.
Yeah, you're going to get TE, and you're going to get some dollar signs at the end of it. You're going to go out there and be able to make more money.
What's interesting is, so I teach a lot of stuff, but it's always at the end of the day, I can teach like you were talking about all day long. I can give you the tools, but sometimes the tools are so high level that there's not an implementation. So in this particular, people struggle with the implementation, which you're also amazing at.
Yeah.
You really give the tools, like, you just outline it. And I think a lot of times realtors go to these things and they get excited about the newest technology or the newest farming data, but nobody really shows them how to implement it in their businesses. So I know Walt does that. And that's what this class is about. It's about what you can do right now and showing you right now how you can expand your business and reach out to more clients and build your business up. And of course, maximize your
it's going to be a lot of fun.
GCI. I actually had a realtor ask me, can't make it up, what GCI was. Would you like to tell them what GCI is? Well,
you got to be kidding me.
I know your face. I'm an educator at heart. So are you. So of course I took the kind route on that and said, okay, but what's GCI?
So GCI, gross commission income, sales price times commission percentage. That number you get, that's your GCI. That's your gross commission income. So that's your gross paycheck before your broker takes their 30% cut, or your team leader takes their 50% cut, or the IRS takes their 38% top marginal tax bracket cut, maybe 27 if you're not making a ton of money, right? And you get it sliced and diced down to the little sprinkle. If your brokerage is taking 30%, you need to find another brokerage. If your team's taking 50%, you need to learn how to run your own business. If the IRS is taking 27%, it's because you're not making enough money. Go make more money and let them take 38% and hold it as a badge of honor. But jokingly, if you're making good money and your tax rate is higher than the baseline, even if it's not higher than the baseline, if you're making consistent money in real estate, and I'm not a tax guy, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm going to tell you what Walt does because that's how I teach people. Go create a business entity. You can literally if you're in Florida, you can go to sunbiz.org. You can file an LLC for a couple $100. You can elect to have it taxed as an S corp. You can then have reasonable salaries paid to you and your spouse and maybe an older kiddo if they're working in your business. You can offset some of that taxable income by paying some salary from the business to your folks. There's some very easy things you can do to not get raked across the coals by the IRS if you're making good money. And obviously the goal is to make good money. So put that stuff in place.
All right.
Maybe at some point we bring my business attorney on and we just have a conversation about the advantages and disadvantages of business entity structures.
I would love that.
That might be really valuable. And
that's a great one. Let's bring him on or him on, right?
Or we'll bring our tax guy on and just really let him break that stuff down.
That's perfect. All right. So register. It's on my Linktree, on my social media. It's Friday, 11 o'clock. It's Zoom. So, you can stay in your pajamas. Let's maximize your GCI. All right. So give us the numbers. What's happening nationally?
All right. So really interesting numbers came out this morning. Technically, they came out last night, but I read it this morning. National Association of Realtors has estimated that from last year to this year, due to the interest rates coming down so much, roughly 5.5 million new buyers can qualify to buy a home.
Wow.
So 5.5 million new buyers eligible to purchase a home than we had last year because rates were in like the low sevens. They're down in like low sixes if you've got a great lender, high fives maybe. And that has opened up millions and millions of new buyers. Now, that does not mean that tomorrow there's going to be millions and millions of new buyers flooding the market. Correct. Some of them are ready to go now. Some of them will be ready to go in a month. Some of them are waiting for you, fellow real estate agent, to let them know rates have dropped so low and they should go talk to a great lender.
Oh, correct.
Right? But there's a huge pool of buyers coming into the market because interest rates have come down. What does that mean for you as an agent? Well, one, you need to be talking to all your people because a lot of them aren't nerds like Walt Key is. They don't know. They don't know that interest rates have come down this far. They don't know that what would have cost them $5,500 a month last year is now going to cost them $4,300 a month this year. And man, that's in their budget.
That's right.
Or whatever the numbers look like for their particular situation, right? So go have conversations with your clients, update them on the market, let them know that they might want to talk to a lender. If they put their buying plans on hold, now's a great time to take them off of hold. If you've got listings, right? I know I'm in that boat, right? I've got a dozen listings, a couple more coming this week, a few more down the road coming up later. I'm stacking listings like pancakes. Some of you agents are probably doing the same thing, and you're like, yeah, it's great. I know how to do listing business, but where are my buyers? The buyers are coming. So just be mindful of that. They're coming. Have conversations with every buyer you know. Put your listings in marketplace where buyers are actively shopping for listings, right? A lot of things you can do to get your listings out there. But the market is going to be great in 2026. Even if the Fed doesn't move rates much, which I don't foresee them doing, we'll talk about that in a minute, they've moved enough. It is a great time to go buy your house. And we're already seeing data points shifting in that direction. The balancing of the market is already starting to happen. And the inventory glut that we had is going to start getting taken by some of those buyers that start shopping. These are all good things for the market, but you got to get ahead of it. You got to go out there and start having the conversation so people don't go find another realtor because they couldn't remember your name because you ain't talked to them in 3 years because the rates are too high. Get out there and have conversations.
You have to have the conversation. All right. GDP, is that something we're talking about?
So I did not grab the GDP data this week. Let's talk CPI though for just
CPI.
Yeah, let's talk CPI.
Tell them what that means and why it's important.
CPI, Consumer Price Index, inflation, right? That the CPI is the Fed's primary gauge of where inflation's at. There are other gauges, right? There's PCE and a couple other things, but CPI, Consumer Price Index, is the primary gauge they like to look at to see where is inflation and what should we do about it. The Fed's ultimate goal is 2% inflation. Okay. Last month, we hit about 2.4, 2.5%, and everyone was like, man, this is looking good. This previous data that we just got for the January CPI report, we bumped up just a little bit to 2.8%. So we went kind of the opposite direction in that regard. So nothing drastic, right? To go from 2.5 to 2.8, it's not a huge number, right, but it's not moving closer to the Fed's desired goal. So 2.8 versus 2.6 is not enough to change the decision metrics for anyone at the Fed. And so there's a near 100% certainty that the Fed is not going to be changing the rates again at their next meeting, short of anything drastic happening over the next 30 days. They're not going to change it at the next meeting after that. Expect the rates to stay about where they're at. You can always see a little bit of a fluctuation based on the bond market. What's the treasury yield doing? What's the geopolitical, things going on? But don't expect to see the baseline Fed funds rate change in the next 30 to 60 days. It's going to be pretty solid where it's at. And then if I had to shake my crystal ball, I did a pretty good job of that last year and the year before.
You did.
I would say that the Fed might do 2 quarter point rate adjustments throughout the entire year. Right? We're not going to see drastic changes in the.
But why is that important?
Well, because
get off the fence and stop waiting, right?
It's important because so many clients they're short-sighted. So they remember just a few years ago, rates were in the 3s. That's not coming back. You are never going to see that again in your lifetime. So if you thought rates were too high, they're not anymore. And if you think you'll just wait for rates to go much lower, they're not anymore. If you need or want to buy a house, now is the time to go buy that house. You are at a pretty great spot on the interest rates. They're probably not going to go lower anytime in the near future by any measurable value point, right? 0.1% here, 0.1% there, little fluctuations as the treasury yields shift for various economic reasons. You're not going to see big changes. You're not going to see like a percentage drop over the next year like we saw last year. We're pretty stabilized at this point. You could argue that there's probably just as likely a chance that interest rates tick up ever so slightly than tick down ever so slightly. And again, not because the Fed's going to do anything. The Fed's not changing the rates anytime soon. They're pretty much static at this point. But it's those little tiny treasury yield, geopolitical, investor this, little tiny micro movements could go up or down, right? That's why you talk to a great lender and you're like, where are you at right now? What do you think? Should I lock this in or should I let it float for the next 60 days, right? Have that conversation with your lender. But you've got just as much chance of rates ticking up ever so slightly than ticking down ever so slightly in the next 6 months. It's a good time to buy. It really is. Its own. Walt Key, put my money where my mouth is. I'm literally about to leave my 2.75% interest rate mortgage and go buy another house.
Yes, you are.
I would not tell you it's a good time to buy and then sit back and say, well, I ain't going to buy because I got that 2.75. Listen, 2.75 is never coming back.
No, not 5.75 in our lifetime.
I'm good to go. I'm going to go buy a house.
It's interesting because I think people are still waiting for the miracle of whatever 2020 was from a housing perspective. Yeah, maybe even a little bit into 2021, and it's just not there. It wasn't there before that. It's just the thought of it coming back. And so what buyers are doing, they're going to wait themselves out is my fear. They're going to wait themselves. You're already seeing it. There's multiple offers again. I'm having to call people like the listing agent and say, hey, this buyer is really excellent. Here's why. Because they're getting multiple offers. And so if you have a specific type of loan too, again, I just taught a whole class on VA loans. So, I'm super passionate about realtors not ignoring VA loans. But you have to be on top of your game. You have to understand that as a buyer, you don't control the market anymore. There's other buyers out there that are in the same boat as you, 5+ million coming into the system. So guess what? You have competition. So you want to do it now, which sounds like a terrible infomercial. Buy now. And if you buy now, you get this XYZ, but it's actually really true because it's just going to get more competitive as time goes by.
No, that's it exactly. So if you're in a position where you were waiting, but you either need to buy or you don't need to, but you really want to buy, don't be afraid of the market. Like dive in and go get your house. It's available for you now. Interest rates are going to be good. You're not going to look back a year from now and go, dadgummit, I wish I'd have waited 6 more months. You're just not going to. And as those buyers flood back into the market and start buying the inventory that's on the market, there's a decent chance that prices will tick up slightly because of the competition. And so your interest rates aren't going to change much more in the next few months, but your prices could tick up a little bit. And now you're just financing even more purchase.
Yep.
Get out there and strike while the iron's hot.
That's right. That's right. Any other stats that we should know about?
That's about the big ones right now. The fun stat for me is that I will be in Houston, Texas next week. So that'll be fun. I'm going to be out at my shareholders summit for my brokerage. And it just arrived today. Actually, I'll send you a picture, Ted. It won't be public consumption until after the event because it's a surprise. But I just got a custom 3-piece suit, Walt style.
Oh no! Did you really?
Yeah, matching tie. It's gonna be sweet.
That's awesome.
So I'm wearing that to show. The reason I normally just wear my Hawaiian shirts to all my events because that's just how I do it. This is the last shareholder summit for Epic Realty before we go public.
Right.
So I just wanted to do something special, more memorable. So I'm like, I'm about to become wealthy. I should probably wear a suit.
You should.
And so I'm like,
especially
find this suit. I'm online Hawaiian theme 3-piece suit, and believe it or not, I found some cool ones. So
I bet you did. Listen, you can find anything online. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
All right, Walt, what's the best way for them to find out about you and how they can reach you?
Oh man, if you Google Hawaiian shirt realtor, schmuck in a Hawaiian shirt, odd guy in a Hawaiian shirt, yeah, you're bound to find me. The easiest thing you can do, the 2 places it's the easiest to find me. The Linktree scrolling across the bottom, that's all the socials, all the contact data, all that. Or if you're on Facebook, literally just Walter R. Key on Facebook, you'll see me in a Hawaiian shirt. I'm about 8,300 followers. You won't miss me. If you see one, that's weird how this happens. If you see my profile and there's like 4 followers, that's because somebody's trying to spoof my account again.
Yeah, they are.
And scam my clients. So that ain't me. I've got like 8,300 followers. So it's hard to spam that.
All right. So reach out to Walt. We're here for you. If you have questions, you have something you want to know, reach out to us. We'd love to answer it on the show. If there's a topic you want us to cover, please let us know, because every week we're just trying to bring you valuable information, added value, trying to get you across a finish line that maybe you felt like you were challenged to get across. 2026 is going to be a good year. And I say good, it might be great, but let's see how we go. But I feel very positive about 2026. I can already feel the momentum, the inquiry, the action. It's there. So Walt Key, you're amazing. Thank you so much, my friend. Reach out to Walt, reach out to me, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.